if you guys understand the weight of the fact that Jesus is our creator. So to illustrate this, I'm going to tell you guys a little story. I know that some of you guys are young, so I'm counting on your guys' imagination. But the rest of you, maybe you guys can relate. Right, so imagine that you're old. Imagine you're like 35 years old, and you're I'm sorry. I'm only 19. So imagine you're 35, right, and you're married to your beloved spouse, and you have this adorable little kid, right? And he's like 3 or 4 years old. Now let's imagine that you love your kid, right? We gotta imagine. And you want to bring your kid camping because you love camping and you want to introduce him to the beauty of nature and how fun it can be to camp. So you bring your family to your favorite campsite by this little river, and things are going great. You set up your camp, you're talking to the neighboring campers, when all of a sudden, you look around, and your little 3-year-old is nowhere to be seen. You go to your spouse, and you say, hey, where is he at? And he's like, I don't know, I thought he was with you. And your heart sinks. Panic starts to sink in, and you start to think the worst. What if he fell into the river? I mean, the currents aren't that strong, but they're definitely enough to take away a 3-year-old. Your thoughts get darker. What if he was kidnapped? What if he was lured away by somebody? You start thinking of all those documentaries of these missing kids who are never found or who are found dead in the woods. And so you frantically drop everything that you're doing and you start looking for him. And you start wondering whether or not you're going to see your kid again. You're so worried, and you keep looking, and you're at the side of the river when something red catches your eye a little ways down the river. And so you walk along the riverbank, pushing trees aside and branches aside as you do, and there you find your little kid playing in the shallow water with rocks, with his little red hoodie on, like nothing's going on, like nothing's wrong. So you run up to him and you sweep him up into your arms, and you're so happy and so relieved that he's okay. And you hold him tightly for a little while too long. And then you put him down with like a little bit of tears in your eyes. And then you scold him for wandering off without an adult, right? Maybe you guys have experienced this before. Maybe you watched your parents as they were freaking out about your sibling. Or maybe you were the kid who got lost and made your parents freak out, and you probably remember the scolding a lot more than you remember the being lost. Right, but looking back, we know that it's from a place of love.